All right. Thank you, Gary, and everyone for coming. We are going to do a pretty easy setup today. Coach is going to start us off with an opening statement, and then he'll take some questions, and then we will move on to players. All right. So, Coach.
Wiggle my way through this crowded room here. Hello, everybody. I think I'd like to open this up with a big thank you. Thanks to everybody in this department that set this up. I appreciate that a great deal. I've got 3 studs that are here with us. You guys will meet them later. I want to thank you guys for finding time to do this. I appreciate that a great deal. I want to thank my staff, of course. They're kind of the brains behind this whole thing, and I'm certainly appreciative of Adam and Daniel and Jay. And Curtis Akey, our director of ops, is like the best in the entire world. So I want to thank all those guys. And then the rest of the team, they're not here right now, but I want to thank them too. I love these guys, I do. They're working hard, they're investing hard, not only on the field, but off, classroom, clubhouse, all those types of things. So it gives me a lot of good feelings. Obviously, I'm an optimistic guy, so excited for the upcoming season. And we still have some days in between now and next Friday, and we got a lot of improving to do, but like the course that we're on, and just overall excited about the upcoming season. Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Gare. I think in anything, and you and I have spoken about this before, college baseball, it's a transitional period in these guys' lives. Sometimes it's 3 years, sometimes it could be 4 or 5, but there's always in and out, and what those guys did so well was help us win, which was good. It gave them a chance to do what I think all of our guys on this team want to do, which is play professional baseball. And somebody at a next level thought that they were good enough, and so they took them from us, so to speak. So with that, we're grateful for what they did while they were here, but now there's open holes, okay? And that's just what good teams do. They just find ways to plug and mix and match and all those types of things. And we think we'll certainly miss those guys, Garrett, but at the same time, we feel like we've got some capable bullets out there that can, try to cover their loss, so to speak. So I'm pleased with our pitching right now. I don't know if it's Olthoff and Benoit and Gillis and Aldrich at this point, but there's a lot of good youth in there. There's some nice junior college and grad transfer pieces. I like every year that we seem to be here, not only our pitching staff, but just our team gets collectively deeper. Our competition from within continues to get better. I think we have a lot of options out in the bullpen, okay? So especially early, probably going to see a lot of guys get into some different roles, trying to figure out what those will be or won't be throughout the course of the season, but there's not many guys in this team that I would say we run him out there and we don't have a chance to win. So I feel good about our length, and then there's some returning guys in there too that have gotten better, which is really important. So we're excited about it, and we'll see how it plays out.
Would you say competitive
Yeah, I would. I don't like to compare one team to the next because every year is different. I don't know how this team is going to cement itself in terms of a legacy or a pecking order, so to speak. They'll determine that. But what's nice, and I think these guys that are sitting here would agree, and thankfully they didn't have to go through the first couple years, but we've got 4 really good catchers, so we can split the guys up and actually play a pretty good scrimmage, Trevor can play shortstop for his team and not have to rush off and get his at bat and then go play shortstop for the other team while the other guy hits, right? So we're layered. And so we've got some multi-talented position players that can play all over the field. We can have two really good teams, which creates competition. And so our scrimmages have been good that way and stuff like that. But yeah, we've got a battle going on, Gare. And we're less than 2 weeks away from the first pitch, and I'm sure I'll get some questions today about, who's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and who's going to start at short and all that kind of stuff like that. But there's too many days at N and Y in between now and then to probably make a whole bunch of determinations. But I like it, and I think the kids feed off of it. And the thing that I really like about it too is that I think it's the nature of our team. They see it as good competition. It's not alienate this guy in my spot. I think they're helping each other. I think they're coaching each other. I think they truly want to see everybody have success, and so we're kind of getting both ends of that in a good way. But yeah, it's allowed us to compete well, and it's certainly going to help us transition through the ups and downs of a baseball season. You know how that can go, round ball with the round bat, some slump this, maybe some other guys can get in and insert themselves. Those guys could get righted, injuries that may happen along the way. I'll feel like no matter who we put out there, I think that, we'd have a chance to win. I think believability really from the kids. I think you made mention to it. I was asking Curtis earlier about, what would be some talking points maybe about where we're at, where we've come from. You mentioned second last year. The COVID before that was off to a 15-2 start, ranked in the top 20 in the country. It was a third place finish the year before that. I think we're at about a 600 winning percent clip over the last 3 years. We've had 14 players drafted or signed in that time, first rounders included, second rounders. So I think we're ready, And what I want the kids to do is I want them to expect that next step, because that's what it's been. It's third and then a short COVID and now second. So what's next? We've done all these things from the past, and so now it's time to, as I tell them, we're showing up, man. But I think it might be a little bit of a peek inside. I think it's time now to just forget the door handle, and use your foot and kick the door in and just, we're here. We're good enough. I think the kids got to believe it, and things like that. But it's not going to just come overnight, but we have a vision. We have kind of a mantra that we're trying to think about right now, and I think that helps our guys organize their body every single day to try to, drive that attention to what we want to do, and they know what it's going to take. And so the next step is to, get at the top of this league. I don't think that anybody on our team would expect anything different. You mentioned East Carolina. Good, very good, no question about it. But so are the other 7 teams that you didn't mention. This is a good league, and East Carolina's at the front right now, but we just have to kind of worry about ourselves. But I would be safe to say, without being up here sounding grotesquely egotistical, anything like that, because that's not what I'm doing. We respect our competition, but I do think that the objective is for us to finish at the front of this thing. Yeah. Can you promise me that? Okay. That's what I'm fully anticipating as well, Gare. For those of you out there, if you've ever played 4 games in a weekend, it's a bear, It's not a grind. We don't use that word in our program because we're playing baseball, so, but it's tough. You get 9 innings of scheduled baseball. It could be more if you get into a tussle, obviously, in a tie game. It strains your roster. it strains your mind, it strains your feet, it strains a lot of things. And so the ability to get back into some normalcy that way, 3 games, I think will be helpful for everybody. I'm a little bit concerned, obviously, with the things that could still happen because, if it was completely over, I wouldn't have got a spring 22 protocol, from the NCAA or the league about what are we going to do. And now they're talking about we could possibly play a game with 1 umpire now. That's cool. Our kids will be used to it because I umpire from behind home plate in scrimmages, so that'd be 1. Okay, so we're used to that. That's good training. Players that aren't double vaccinated and boosted or eligible for a booster, they're subject to close contact tracings and things like that. So there's still going to be some deal, and that just leads me back to good, bring it, we say. It's like we can't control it, but we can respond well to it if it were happen to affect us. And then again, everything has a derivative. So I would go back to what you had talked about earlier, and that's our depth, that's our competitive depth, our abilities to probably, take a player here and a player there and insert a player here or there and probably still stay on the same visionary track of, being at the front of this thing when it's all said and done. Yeah, you just gave me chills by just talking about it. And I would be remiss if I sat up here and said that I haven't looked at that. I know our kids have. We don't steer away from those type of opportunities. Those will get here when they get here, but we're excited about it, and we all know it's there. And there's quite a few games, like you said, before that we'll need to insert ourselves into this arena and learn from it, hopefully win through it, right, and continue to get better, because by that 3rd week, we'll have a monster on our hands, no doubt. But I think this is the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, since 2005 that Tulane has hosted a defending national champion. I think Fullerton came here at that point, and so obviously Mississippi State being the defending national champion, I can't wait. I'm excited about it. I'll tell you guys this. Baseball, unlike any other sport, it's so fickle, if that's the right word. We go to Starkville last year, and that's last year, but that's information that we're going to hold on to, what was good about it, what was bad, and try to bring it forward to this year, no question. But we had the lead in the bottom of the 9th inning of all 3 of those games. And season passes, and now we're talking about them as the defending national champion. So it just tells you we're right there, okay? And now we just gotta, we're not leaving the putt short anymore. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get it in the center of the hole. So it's I think it should give our kids a good feeling about, that we're close. And but this game requires routineness and consistency and finishing moments and all those types of things, okay? And we'll certainly be looking forward to another rematch with them for sure. Yeah, I think there's only one thing that might slow us down, and that's if I screw it up or get in their way too much, So you're right. Talented. I think there's some left. I think there's some right. I think there's some power. I think there's some speed. I think there's some wand ability, I like to say, with the bat. We call the bat a wand, and I think if you want to stand around and get into maybe a haymaker fight, I think we could stand in there with you. If you want to get into more of a tough bull riding event where it's going to be tough to score, I think we can get in there with you that way too. So we just kind of try to talk about being holistic and being able to, what we say, always, and whatever the game says that day, then we're just going to have to attack it as such. But the kids training well. they understand that there's all different kinds of ways to do it. And I think we're capable of, kind of winning games in a lot of different fashions. So I feel good about that. You mentioned quite a few returners. I think any time when, I'm standing here in this fine company of a guy like Avilas and Trevor Minder, and then you start talking about Bennett Lee and Chase Englehart, Jake LaPrairie played a lot last year, pretty much the entire season. I thought he had a lot of good at-bats and moments for us, almost on the cusp of that freshman All-American list, so to speak, so that would give us 2.5, if you want to say there, and then Luis and Trevor and Jared Hart's experience, right, and Frankie's gray hair, and, next thing you know, you've got a nice nucleus of veterans, okay, and then that's coupled around what I'm excited about, which is this new group, and I told you that I was thankful for my coaches before, but the recruiting that these guys are doing at this fine institution with this fine cost that's involved with our 11.7, I really think what we're doing that way from the procurement of the players and the talent is pretty good. So I'm excited about our veterans because they know. They got to stay humble and they got to get better. That's important. And they can't just live off of last year and be stagnant. They've got to continue to move forward. And they're doing a good job of that. Our young guys look at them, so they're seeing replication about what it takes. And then this freshman, junior college, grad transfer, 21 of them of our 40. So we actually have more than half of our roster is new compared to returners. It's a nice mix, Garrett. The Banks and the Lynn and the Massey and some of the names that you've heard for sure. But, we got 6'5" Brady Margit and Roosta, our backup little middle infielder that's a good player. And Brady Hebert's a national champion at LSU Eunice last year. You know what I mean? Lambert has come in here and probably taken maybe the most consistent swing of anybody up and down and had a lot of success. So those guys are inserting themselves well. The young kids, what I like about our depth and experience too is that, probably I could take them the first game too and just say, just come sit right next to me and just watch, okay? And just kind of get a feel for a college baseball game and the speed and things like that. And then we'll try to certainly insert their talent as we get going. And then, sky's the limit from there, and we'll see how it all kind of plays out. But I do like our abilities to be pretty holistic offensively for sure.
There's not a lot of change through the 5 days. I talked to you last time. It was pretty clear in your first two starters.
Yeah, I think I'm safe to say that. Yeah, and I won't tell you in what particular order, because like I told you, there's still fighting going on in competition, and so that's yet to be had. But Tyler Hoffman, as I made mention of these fine young men sitting here, he's a returner on the pitching staff that pitched a lot for us last year. That's how fast it goes. This kid's hyper talented now. It's a middle 90s fastball with an aggressive middle 80s cutter slider and developing changeup. And you got to remember this: Tyler was a junior college freshman, then a COVID no thank you, and then to Division I, thrown in that mix with a lot of those good drafted pitchers, and he earned himself into the rotation, whether it be a Tuesday or a Sunday, type of thing, and he pitched really good. But what I think he did was I thought he pitched really good up through about 4 or 5 innings. And so the challenge that I've had with him is like, okay, the learning from last year, understanding what it's going to take you to be maybe more of a front end of the weekend rotation and try to get us into the depths of this game, okay, to save a bullpen early in a week and things like that. So I see his mind is more developed and it's more mature. I think his work ethic is better. His stuff's ticking up, which a lot of our pitchers are doing. So he certainly gives me a good feeling going into any weekend, no matter what day he would pitch, that we've got an experienced guy with a good arm, you know. And, you know, I get it, velocity's not everything, but sometimes it's nice to have when you miss your spot and he misses the ball because he's late, you know. So feel good about him. And then you and I have talked about Carmouche. You know, Carmouche is a left-handed pitcher for you guys out there. That is a transfer from Mississippi State. And so he is actually a defending national champion himself. That's a cool feeling. And he pitched 9 innings, I believe, Garrett, for them. Okay. And one of those 9 innings was 3 outs against us, and he struck out the side. So I talked to him after the game, and no, I'm just kidding. But he's talented, and he's a left-hander, so it's different than Hoffman. So them kind of maybe sitting back to back in whatever order could be a nice pump and go. You know, it's an average fastball. It's got a tall angle to it to start, and it pitches from all of these angles like this with multiple pitches. The heartbeat is really good. His spirit has been the most impressive thing to me, that as every day that he's been here, he just kind of becomes more and more, certainly different than the recruiting process even, you know. So that's been good to see how he feels about being in this type of environment with these guys. He's always a pitch away, man. That's how good I feel about him, you know. Guy gets a hit, he walks a guy, and it's a good pitch from an angle, from experience to getting a double play ball and things like that. So I would tell you that those 2 guys, oh yeah, you're gonna see them. We'll see when.
Coach, when you mentioned the talents you guys have had on the roster in the past and what you bring back this year, does it ever get frustrating for you that you guys haven't had that like postseason breakthrough yet? Do you feel like you're just due that breakthrough sometime?
Yeah, I think frustrating would be a kind word. Yeah, I feel like I have dents in my head from, you know, being angry, you know, frustrated, all those things that come with maybe not fulfilling what you set out to do. I tell our guys this, you know, fellas, unfortunately, it doesn't always happen on your watch. You know what I mean? And what I think they're learning is that we just got to keep going. We've got to keep evolving. We've got to take things from maybe the past that we think might have hindered us from getting there and remove them and change and do things like that. But, you know, the expectation, no doubt about it, is to play in the postseason. You know, I think a lot of people put the postseason, and I get it, you know, and sometimes I think about it like, this team's very excited. They got to play in the postseason, and then they go somewhere and they get beat by 20 runs and they play 2 extra games than anybody else, and you're going like, okay, and so we haven't experienced that yet. I think we're talented enough to do it. The expectations are that we are going to do it, and I want to make a run in this thing, you know. I don't want to just get there. I want to try to be, you know, ready to make some noise once we get there. So, yeah, it is frustrating. And, you know, this isn't about me at all, but my frustration is that's just kind of what I've always been fortunate or lucky or whatever you want to say. I've tricked people to hire me at other spots where it's just kind of been, you know. And so this has probably been the longest spin of time that we haven't gone to a Thursday night dinner at a regional somewhere, okay? So I want these kids to experience it. That's really what I want. And that's just my objective as the coach of this university. I just want to create a great environment. I want these guys to have a great experience, and let's just say what it is. Getting to the postseason is part of that. So frustrating, yeah, no question. But I think if you look at the growth and some of the obstacles, if we want to talk about that, that we have in front of us, I think we're doing a heck of a job, you know. The draft picks I made mention, we're kicking butt in school. So we're doing a lot of really good things. First rounders, all leaguers, conference players of the year, third COVID second. It's just, and now it's just time to take that next step, okay? So proud of the trajectory. I'd like it to be a little bit faster too. And now maybe we can do some things that would make this clock strike when we want it to. Again, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
We're going to take statements
So once again, thank you guys for putting this on. This is awesome. I am super excited for this year. I know each one of us is, and we've truly worked for it. Every day we talk about deserving victory, and just having that feeling that you've done it the right way is what we have, and we do truly deserve victory. So that's what we're going with to start the year.
You know you're going to get pitched probably differently this year. I don't know if you were going to the youth roster, but you feel like you're prepared for whatever comes your way.
Absolutely. Every day of the fall and every day of this early spring, it's just training. We train very game-like, and we're super prepared so that when we get into the game, it's slow and our heartbeats are slow, and we can just react to what the game says. So I am absolutely prepared, and I take that as a compliment and something that I enjoy. I love the challenge. I love competing, and I am absolutely prepared for it.
You had the hottest batting average in the league going into the season last year. How do you, does it mean anything now going forward for Postseason?
Yeah, it means a great deal, and batting average is something that I try not to focus on. It's more of an uncontrollable thing, but doing that last year was super special for me and super special for my family to be a part of. But that's over. I mean, the two worst words in the dictionary are last year, um, and I'm ready to do the same thing this year, do even better this year, um, through a commitment to the process and to what I can control every day. Right, yeah. And that's something I've worked on. It's something I got better at over the summer in Bellingham and something over the fall. So that's kind of just a natural progression as you move through getting stronger, getting older, and learning how to strike the ball in different ways. So that's something we've gotten better at and definitely going to implement. Absolutely, that'd be huge. That's something you dream about doing, right? Every day in high school, dream about going to a regional, and we absolutely can. We're right there, as Coach said, but we're going to kick the door down. We're going to win big and take that step.
When you guys coaches been a little bit of a very competitive schedule, both non-conference and conference coming up this year. As a returner, how do you prepare the team for what you know is coming and your being consistent?
For sure. I think when it comes to showing the new guys the way, it's just kind of leading by example and with love. Showing them the championship behavior every day that ends in Y that produces that result. Doing that every day leads to the confidence to go out there against whoever and just play the game the same way you always do, which is with everything you have to win this current pitch. So we've done that. We've done a good job of it, and older guys have taken these new guys in, and I feel like they're doing a great job as well. So we'll continue to show them the way and be prepared for whoever comes at us.
What does it mean to be a leader of this team in just your second year here?
It means a great deal, and I have to thank Coach Jewett for that, honestly. He's believed in me, and I don't want to let him down. But no, it does mean a great. But it does mean a great deal for me to be a leader on this team. I feel like I was kind of a leader in high school, and I have good experience from that, so I can implement that here. And being a Fall World Series captain was was very important and special to me and my family. And we'll continue to take steps to become a better leader and lover and learner every day.
Any more questions for Bennett?
Thank you.
How we doing? How we doing?
Season and trajectory of the team where you're heading.
Yeah, I think we're all very excited. It's hard not to be. We've been training every day for the past 5 months, even in the summer. Just waiting for this opportunity, not letting the days go by, taking every day like if it's our last day on the field. It's finally here. Not yet, but it's almost here. We're extremely excited. We've worked very hard. Like Bennett said, we work for, to win. We deserve victory, and You know, I speak for a lot of the returners that have been here and even the new guys. Like it's about time. You know, we've been doing this for so long and just coming up short for the past 2 years. And understand COVID kind of shortened our first year here, but we definitely deserve it.
Any questions?
Individually from last year, you know, the way you played, how much, you know, by all accounts,
Yes, sir.
where you look for and you are one better than the
I
like the biggest issue last year and how much you
I would say the biggest issue for me last year was just forgetting that this is just a game. You know, I put too much stress on myself. I put too much pressure. You know, I let a lot of things get to me off the field, and it definitely showed in my performance last year. Right now, I feel like I'm in a much better place mentally, physically. You know, and I'm just, like Bennett said, ready to go, prepared.
Towards the end of the season last year, we were still having restrictions on attendance and just starting to get people towards it. How excited are you to play in front of full crowds again? And what would you say to your coach what you want to come out to practice?
I mean, it's just an experience. You know, like Jewett says, we create our own music and we have a lot of energy. Definitely, you know, I've been told by plenty of teams that have played against us and other people that watch us on TV that we're easily the most exciting baseball team to watch in the country. We get rowdy in the dugout, we have fun, and we do that all from ourselves. So it's kind of a sight to see. It's more, you know, you don't come out to watch a baseball game, you come out to have fun. You know, it's more of an entertainment thing. Taking everything pitch by pitch. I think if we get ahead of ourselves, we get a little sped up. And we have a lot of young guys that have stepped up to the plate and have showed that they have very good internal clock. And like Coach has said, and like Bennett has said, our returners are you know, we're experienced. We know what we need to do, and as long as we take it pitch by pitch, day by day, we'll be there.
Any more questions?
Thank you.
Last but not least,
Just give us your thoughts on the season and how close and how excited you are and where the team's headed.
All right. So obviously, like those guys said, everybody's super excited to get going. What are we, just about a week away? Been waiting for the day for a long time, especially after last year. We came up a little short, like they've all mentioned, and we're just trying to build on what we've built in or what we've had in the past, and just try to take that next step. Really, just move this program to where it needs to be and where it was at one time.
questions?
that can become a pressure thing when you let it weigh you down, not let you feel like the whole
Right. I mean, pressure is something that you make it. I mean, for us, it's not really like we don't feel the pressure. It's just an expectation, to be honest. It's not like it's not something we think about all the time or whatever. It's just being the present, and if you do your job and work together, then you'll get to where you need to be. So I would say that's more like an external factor than anything.
Trevor, what's the next step for you? What's the thing you're looking for personally?
For me, I mean, as everybody knows, last year didn't go the way I really wanted it to. And I had to grow a lot as a person, obviously, with my injury and just not playing very well. It made me learn a lot about myself and what I really bring to the team. It's more about, well, it just made me realize that everything's not about me. It's more about helping others and encouraging others. And really just using my age now. I'm getting old. It's weird being the old guy, but just using that to spread knowledge and just show them how things should be done, really. So I think that's the main thing, is just taking the stress of how I do off myself and just diving into other people or giving them the confidence or information that they need to succeed. So I think that's the main thing. Yeah, I know. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's exciting. Yeah, last year was definitely tough for me, but like you said, it's new year. Hopefully, new me. And yeah, I mean, just get it going. We got a lot of good competition from within, like they've been saying. A lot of new pieces that can really make a difference, and I think our returners are doing what they need to do to get this thing going. So, just hope we can put it together and see what we can do. I mean, I don't know. I play anywhere. Maybe center, but I hope to play short. Obviously, played it my whole life. Just feel comfortable there. Obviously, I mean, felt comfortable at third, but deep down, since a kid, I've always been a shortstop. So we'll see what happens there.
Any more questions? All right.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, we wanted to thank you for coming out, and if you need anything else, you can let us know, but we have lunch provided, so thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.